Quick game. I'm going to read you predictions from genuinely brilliant people. 1943. The chairman of IBM said the world might need, quote, maybe 5 computers. 5. For the entire planet. 1995. The guy who co-founded 3Com swore the internet would collapse within a year. These weren't randoms on the internet, these were the experts. Hang on to that, it pays off in about 30 seconds. Because pharma, just as bad. Merck had a heart drug, Blocardin. The forecast, up to $1 billion. It made 15 million. That's not a rounding error, that's a faceplant. And before you decide forecasters just overpromise, nope. A Spartan was forecast to make nothing. It made 585 million. Tagamet, pegged at 200 million, became pharma's first billion-dollar drug. They miss both ways. So here's the puzzle. The experts whiff constantly. And yet, almost every billion-dollar decision in this industry rests on one number. A forecast. Sounds insane. It isn't. Because there's a method, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Start with what a forecast actually is. It is not a crystal ball. Anyone who says they can predict the future is selling something. The honest version? It's a tool to make a decision when you don't have all the facts. Part art, part science. And it's the most powerful number in the building. Look what it touches. What are drugs worth in a deal? How many reps to hire? Which pipeline projects get funded or quietly killed? How many pills to make? One number. All of it. Right, let's build one together. 2 ways in. Start with everyone who could take the drug and filter down, or start with who's on it today and build up. Same destination, opposite directions. We'll take the scenic route. Top down. Here's the whole trick. You start with a giant crowd of people and then, like a very strict bouncer, you turn most of them away, one velvet rope at a time, until you're left with the few who actually walk out with a prescription. Watch. Say the market's 50 million adults. 1% actually have the disease. 5 million. Rope number 1. Only 95% have real symptoms. Down to 4.75 million. Keep filtering. 90% get correctly diagnosed. 4.3 million. 85% can actually access and afford care. 3.6 million. 80% of those get an actual drug. We land at 2.9 million patients. Stop and look at that. 50 million people walked in. Under 3 million walked out with a script. Every drop was a rope. And now, the part that makes forecasters lean forward in their chairs. Every rope under 100% is money left on the table. Every awareness campaign, every ad with a happy couple on a beach, that's a company widening one of those ropes. They're buying their way down the funnel, and some ropes are brutal. For a lot of diseases, half the people who have it don't even know yet, undiagnosed. Nudge that one number up a few points, and the whole forecast jumps by millions. One assumption, millions of dollars. But patients aren't dollars yet. 3 steps left. What share of them pick your drug over rivals, how long they stay on it, and the real net price after rebates. Multiply it through, now you've got revenue. And one of those 3 is the whole ball game. Share. The book that basically defines this field says it flat out. Your share versus the competition is the heart of the model. Everything else is supporting cast. Which brings us to forecasting's dirty little secret. The math? Easy. It's multiplication. A sharp 12-year-old could do it. The hard part is the assumptions you feed in. Garbage in, billion-dollar garbage out. Take one assumption. Speed. Every drug rides an uptake curve. A slow start, a climb, a peak, then the cliff when the patent dies. And forecasters will argue for weeks about one thing. How long until peak? The most dangerous guess in the model. Which is why a good forecaster never hands you one number and a confident smile. They give you a range, best case, worst case, and the boring but likely middle. A single number pretends to a certainty that just doesn't exist. One more twist for any drug still in trials. You take that whole beautiful forecast and multiply it by the odds the drug even gets approved. And from episode 1, you already know those odds. Roughly 1 in 10. Oof. That risk-adjusted number even has a fancy name, RNPV. And it's what every licensing deal, every acquisition, every should we even build this meeting is really fighting about. The forecast's just sitting quietly underneath all of it. Want to see it scale? Take a monster, Keytruda, and run it through the exact same funnel. Way bigger population, dozens of approved uses, and the number balloons to around 25 billion a year. Same machine, just more zeros. Illustrative before anyone emails me. So why do forecasts still miss, like those legendary flops we opened with? Almost never the math. It's that you're making confident guesses about a future nobody can see. The forecast's job was never to be right, it's to frame the bet. So, the stuff nobody tells you about this job. It's a decision tool, not a crystal ball. The assumptions matter more than the math. It quietly runs every commercial call. And, say it with me, no PhD required. Which is exactly why it's the highest leverage skill on the business side of pharma. One person, one spreadsheet, billions of dollars swinging on it. That's a wild amount of power for a job most people have never even heard of. So how do you get in? Same ladder as always. Start in commercial analytics, market insights, or market research. Get your hands on the data, then slide across into forecasting. The skills are learnable. Modeling in Excel. Reading epidemiology without your eyes glazing over. Finding the right analog, the old drug that rhymes with your new one. And the secret weapon nobody teaches. Explaining your number so a CEO actually believes it. And here's the kicker. It's wide open to a master's grad. Like every role in this series, it's judgment and modelling, not the letters after your name. Same method everywhere on Earth. And in India, that analytics to forecasting door is wide open right now. I'll leave you with the best advice in the whole field, straight from the book that defines it. Create stories, not spreadsheets. Because a forecast nobody can explain dies in the meeting. Every single time. And that's the real job, stripped right back. Not predicting the future perfectly, you can't, nobody can. It's taking a fog of uncertainty and turning it into one clear, defensible number that people can actually act on. That's the art. If you want to actually learn this, the real models, the real method, the stuff I use every day, that's exactly what I'm building for you, step by step. Stick around for it. Grab the free Pharma career map in the description, subscribe so you don't miss the rest, and tell me in the comments, if you ran that funnel, what would you forecast? See you in the next one.